All right. So do you think, like, oh yeah, we were talking about before, like, when you don't wait for like shit to go fucked up until you really make a change. Obviously, that's what we were saying.
Correct.
Right? And I had this story once that I thought we always do that. Like, okay, so we're talking about, for those cunts who weren't listening to our private convo,
Exactly.
we were talking about how to change a belief, you have to replace it, all right? Or you have to weaken that belief. You have to think differently about that
That's
belief.
right.
Like,
So the example we gave is
go bust it.
basically, I'm smoking and it's too hard to quit. Why is it too hard? Because we don't see no danger, even though we know that you can get cancer and it's not healthy for you, but it doesn't really bother us.
Yeah.
So it's too hard to quit smoking. But the next day we go to the doctor and he tells us if you don't stop by tomorrow, you're dying of it.
And that bothers us, obviously.
And all of a sudden, by some miracle, we quit smoking.
Yeah, we've got enough fucking ammo to go against that belief.
That's it.
But it's not that, like, logically we know that smoking is not good, but it's not that, it's the belief, it's the fucking...
There's no danger. There's no immediate danger because you smoke every single day. It's like, sweet, I've been smoking for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, but the way you feel about smoking or that certain habit, you've got a connection to it. It's a comfortable feeling. You're more sold than not. That's the scale.
Yeah, but also, like I said to you, it's like nothing really bad's come from it. Maybe you've run a couple of times.
Coughing your ass
Yeah,
off.
you've coughed a few times in the morning, or the smokers cough in the morning, all that kind of bullshit. But there's no immediate danger.
Yeah, but how do we weigh up what's bad and what's good? Like, in my opinion, the reason why it's not bad, something could be bad, but the comfort that it supplies is outweighing.
That's right. The negative.
You know what I mean?
The negative.
It's like anything.
Yeah.
Bad relationship.
Yeah.
I'm getting, this woman's getting belted by her husband, but something's keeping her there, some sort of belonging, some sort of malaki. It's a bullshit,
Yeah.
And that bad parts they're not solved,
Yeah. The good part outweighs the bad. Yeah.
It is bad.
Yeah. The smokers cough in the morning. Yeah. Smokers cough.
It covers green shit.
You don't really run every single day. You don't do a marathon every day. So it doesn't bother you. So there's little minor things that will bother you on a day-to-day basis. But overall, throughout the day, smoking...
What it's giving you is outweighing shit.
Gives a good return, yeah.
And when some cunt finds out they're going to die that outweighs
That's it.
Isn't it?
It is 100%.
It's like, that's too far. Like, die. Not ready to die there.
No, not for fucking cigarettes.
Cunts are dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we got to the, like, what it has to be extreme to change, obviously.
Yeah, what we're waiting for the worst case scenario to appear.
Yes, that's right. And then I was like, where I learned the lesson of, like, the only time we change is because we feel different about the scenario that we're in.
Yeah.
Or the only time we feel like doing something about it is the way we see it. We change our perspective changes depending on how we feel. The doctor says you're going to die. Our perspective of smoking changes.
Guaranteed.
It's like, it's not that good. We're in a different emotional state.
Guaranteed.
So let's say you're in a situation where you work at a certain you work somewhere, and then you're like, the boss doesn't treat you nice.
Yeah, let's say you're in a factory and you're working it's a shitty job, the pay's not that great.
The boss is doing your head in.
Yeah.
The boss is draining you.
That's right.
And like maybe saying something that's not fucking called for, he's disrespecting you. Underhanded shit. He's got something against you. Whatever, all right? Now, you're putting up with it and you're accepting it because it's not bad enough to really like go get fucked.
That's right.
It hasn't reached that point. Everyone's got a point where their belief, I don't know, their belief is tested. Like they've got enough ammo, emotional ammo to make a move.
That's right. And meanwhile, your missus could have been telling you for years, like, you need another job, we need more money, but the job's not cruisy, but it's, it's not really bad. The pay, the pay shit, again, like smoking is bad for me, but I'm not quitting. The job's not giving me as much as money as I want, but it's cruisy, this and that. So yeah, you're not pushed against the wall. You're not up against the wall to be like, oh mate, I can't take this anymore.
Correct. So we agree that to make a move,
Something's going to happen.
You have to have the right emotional state.
That's right.
So how do we get ourselves in the emotional state, bring ourselves to that point without that actually we're not pushed to that point?
You got to basically, there's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, of course.
One way would be to, as we just pointed out, the doctor said, you're going to die, sweet, but we don't want to get to that point. What can we do in the meantime before reaching that point? One is to dismantle and prove to yourself that it is a lie, or it is damaging, or it is negative.
Yeah.
So, the equilibration process, to write on a piece of paper, all the positives and negatives
of a certain
of
belief.
of a belief, right? And really put it on paper, because once you put it on paper, now again, this is only one way of doing it. You really get to see and go through some, an exercise that you really see it. And like, fuck, yeah, I don't, the pros outweigh, the positives, or whatever it might be.
We don't really know. It's always up
put
in
it
the
on
air.
paper is an external thing, because thinking of it, as I say, the mind that created it can't solve it.
Yep.
So if you put it on paper, it's an external thing. You're actually writing it down. You're not just thinking about it. And you've actually also seen it.
100%.
So which plays another role.
So in this case,
using one of the other senses.
That's right. So what he's talking about is like, you've got your pros and cons. We use smoking because smoking is a big one.
Let's do that, yeah.
That's a habit.
Yeah.
So you're doing all right. What does smoking give me? Freedom. Fucking, I don't know. I feel better about myself. It relaxes me.
Yeah, it gives you, it stimulates you. It's
all this good shit.
Yeah, all the good stuff. It's a drug. It's, cuts my appetite.
I look
or
cool.
something, like, I don't have to eat as much.
That's right.
Keeps me lean. I don't know. Fuck, there's a lot of
helps me
positives that they can come up with.
Helps me bond with fucking cunts.
Yeah, that's right. Social.
And then,
exactly.
That's right. And then you put in the bad shit.
That's it.
Your perception of what that bad thing is, and you're like, right, fucking not as fit. Can't breathe properly. Fucking my fingers smell.
Smoker's cough. Fucking I smell. My breath smells. My fucking clothes stink.
Yellow ass teeth and shit.
No money.
Yeah,
oh, it's fucking expensive as fuck these days.
Correct.
$50 for a packet or something,
That's right. So that putting it on paper, all it does is expose the way you perceive things, but it shows it on paper because we don't know the way we perceive things. I mean, unless we're aware of what the fuck, how we look at something, but we don't.
Which is minimal.
Yeah, and a lot. Yeah, that's right. For the uninitiated or the cunt who's not aware, the ignorant, there's a lot of grey areas. They let things. They don't really look at it clear. It's very. I don't want to look at that. It's in a blind spot.
Yeah, but plus the mind's always giving you, even though you're like, oh, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about it. Sweet. I'm being honest. The mind's only going to give you what it wants to give you. But once you put it on paper, that's neutral.
Bravo.
Like you're listing positives. There is no other thing you can list.
Correct.
You're listing negatives. There's no other thing you can list. That's it. There has to be that.
Correct. So you're putting yourself not just in a corner, but you're identifying.
You're being vulnerable.
Your skewed sense of the way your belief works. Like you're exposing yourself.
That's it. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's why that works. Back to what I was saying earlier. Okay, so that's that. That's how you that's how you identify how you're looking at something. That's any situation that you're in that you think is shit, but you're not connecting the heart, the emotion to it doesn't back the thought. Like, I know smoking's bad, but I'm still smoking. So you're not convinced. Yeah,
because the as you said, the emotional part hasn't caught up with the logical part. Logically, it's not good for you.
Correct.
But emotionally, sweet, I'm happy doing what I do.
That's right. And that's an internal thing, all right? But when you've got, let's say, a boss or someone that you don't like, or you're in a fucked up relationship, or a mate who's doing your head in, it's a little bit different because you're looking at things, how do they perceive things? So in other words, you're not saying to the person who's fucking with you, go get fucked, because you're like, fuck. Your brain's saying, how's that going to look? It's, maybe our other friends won't like
What's
it.
the consequences? This and
what's
that,
the,
blah, blah.
yeah, it's all consequences. How's it going to blow back? What's
That's
the
it.
blowback?
That's it.
You know what I
Correct.
mean? What's the cost? Now, the thing that gets around all that is the right emotion. So you've got to be in the right emotional state to navigate certain things. But like we said, you can't always force these states to come. Like you can't force a situation to happen so you can be at your peak thing, your peak fucking emotional state to fight whatever you're going to fight
react,
today.
yeah.
To act, on fucking the right, to do
Accordingly,
the right
yeah.
thing. Yes. So the first time I became aware, I always thought it was weird that people only did things like people could be brave when they felt motivated to be, but otherwise they're scared. Meaning, I used to have a mate, all right, a very timid kind of mate. All right, you know who I'm talking about. You know him. All right, he used to go to work. All right, and he used to be fucking laying down for everyone. Can't give little comments. He's a good worker and that. Does all the right things. He's the best kid.
The best employee.
This guy's going straight to heaven. All right? It's a pure soul.
Pure soul.
But he didn't like getting up early. And in the morning, he was grumpy. So he'd go to work, all right? The same person who he used to let things slide would say something to him when he first started his shift. And if he was early and he was grumpy, he wouldn't take what this person said. Okay, correct. So all his normal ego, it's almost like the ego wasn't awake at that present point.
100%.
And it was like, go get fucked. I'm not in the mood for this. And I always thought that was fucking amazing. I'm like,
It is amazing.
Just because you're backed up by anger, like, just because you're backed up by, like, anyone could be a hard cunt when they're pissed off.
100%.
But can you be a hard cunt when you're not?
Everything's sweet.
Everything's sweet. This is what separates the men from the boys, in my
100%.
opinion. Because, I'm one of those cunts who, I'm an emotional person, but I'm not a reactive person. Like, it takes a lot for me to like really get pissed off or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm always at like a level playing field, like a, even keel, as they say. So,
Yeah, you're more grounded than most.
yeah. Now, if I wasn't that way, I could be fucking killing cunts every day.
100%. Reacting to
But
everything. Forget
That's
about
right. I'm only killing cunts because I can't handle certain things, and I'm very reactive. I'm
Just venting.
Yeah, I'm venting, but things get to me. People can control me easier. Obviously, that's not the case. So what I'm trying to say is, this person grew balls because he's a little bit grumpy. But then when he comes down to earth, he all of a sudden has to play the slave role and do what everyone says. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And then that's when I thought, he's just fucking responding to the way he feels. He's not doing what's right. He's doing like, this is my mood now. This is how I'm going to act.
Yeah, this is how much I can tolerate.
And that's when I thought, that's full on. Where the way we operate in life, in a social setting, we're always motivated by what that other person expects from us, like what the group thinks. Do you know what I mean? We're not acting on what we think is good. We're trying to flow with the energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. We're not.
You know
We're
kind
not.
of what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. We're not basically creating the reality that we want on our own terms. We're just reacting to whatever's coming.
That's right. This is the environment. When people expect things from you, you almost feel like, because your belief is that this person thinks that I'm this kind of person, so I've got to play this role of that person.
Correct.
So we play to that.
To that tune, whatever they might do, that
Play to
dance,
that,
whatever.
we play to that tune, bravo.
That's it. Yeah. And if anything goes, sideways from there, we try to recover from it. Like make sure we go back to where we were. So they don't find out that I think it happens to women, it happens to like in relationships. Yeah, start off dating a chick and everything's fucking the honeymoon period and, going to the first date, everyone's dressed well and fucking.
Yeah,
you know,
putting your best foot forward.
Exactly. And then later on, it's like you continue living that lie of like I'm trying to be. You're not showing your true colours to start off with, and that's the best way to do it. Just show who you are. And I'm saying, rock up because with your moccos and your moccasins and tracky pants, don't dress up at all because you love kicking it on the couch. I'm not saying that, but your personality shouldn't change.
Correct.
Like you should be the same with every single person in every situation. Now, as human beings, as you mentioned before, like, you could get up one day, you're fucking grumpy, whatever, and you can snap. Yes, correct. But in general, you are who you are. Yeah, and that should apply to everything.
Yeah, that's right. But if you're doing everything correct, that day that you're off, you're off.
Correct.
These cunts that I'm talking about, when he's off, he's better.
I know that. I know that.
Like, for some reason, his self-respect comes into play. Not that he's trying.
When they push his buttons. Yeah.
Like he stands up for himself.
Yeah, because we're trying to, either through society, our upbringing, we're trying to fit this character that we've been raised to, be. And, don't step on anyone's toes, don't get in trouble. We're trying to avoid a lot of things. So we're walking on eggshells pretty much through our whole life.
Correct.
And then once someone pushes our buttons on a certain time, a certain day, all right, this person that we didn't is, let's say, dormant, or we didn't know existed, just comes out and it's like, mate, go fuck yourself, and you're out of character.
Correct.
And we think that that's not us. We're usually this person that's nice and respectful and all this other bullshit, but it's not that at all. I'm not saying don't be respectful. It's a fake person that
out of character. That's
it's
bravo.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because the person is showing up for the date, all right, and he's being motivated.
He's dressing up to be this certain person.
Yeah, he wants to show a certain side.
Yeah, he's putting the face on. I'm playing this person today,
and it makes perfect sense, obviously. But we want, we want that person's approval.
Yeah, we're actors in our own movie, as I say.
We are actors in our own movie, but we're motivated by approval.
Exactly.
So I'm going on a date with this girl. I need to show that I'm this thing. It's like we're living in where it's real life social media.
Exactly.
So we're showing the cards we want to show, not the shit cards. And that's the fake part or the inauthentic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But we're motivated to show this person, and we can't hold that up.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. You can't. It's not sustainable.
And you have to be aware. And then I'm thinking to myself, sweet, but if you were across the board, if you had this character that was across the board good, and you're happy with yourself, then
you don't need to act.
If you're conducting yourself, your normal character is putting your best foot forward.
That's it.
But is a person that you're happy with. It's not something I have to.
No, that's right. Exactly. It's like an
change.
actor in the movie, as I was just mentioned now. An actor in the movie, like you're rocking up and you're being an actor. Okay, let's say whatever in a movie, right? But if you're rocking up just to be yourself, you can do that very easily. You don't have to act. It's just what you do. That's who you are.
That's right.
But yeah, we're too busy acting and not being.
Correct. Because being...
keeping up appearances and shit.
That's right. But because what happens is we're always on a holiday from who we are. We don't do any fucking personal development. We don't think about how I'm going to be a better person. Because, you're either a mad cunt or you're not. You're not saving it up for certain glimpses to... See, a lot of people, as long as everyone believes they're a mad cunt, that's the charade. As long as everyone believes the charade, that means in their head, that's what they are.
Yeah, because they're all playing in the same game, yeah? Everyone's rocking up, let's say, to work, with a certain face.
Yep.
A certain part in the role, Sweet. And as we know, that only happens because we don't think anything of ourselves. We don't hold ourselves in high regards and all that sort of shit. That's why we rock up with another personality.
That's right. But we justify that we're doing it because
That's the way we're meant to be. We justify that I have to be this certain person.
Correct.
Because first
For
of all,
this person to accept me.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Yeah, acceptance. It's,
This person has to think I'm smart, or when you're at a job.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I have to
look
play
like
this
I'm a
certain
dumb
part. Exactly. Because if I had to rock up the way I am, forget about it. And if they have to find out who I really am,
cunt. Forget about it.
I'm fucked. And that's it.
Is that true?
No, it's not.
It's not true at all.
No, and we're not saying again. You don't rock up with your fucking jocks to the office when you should be wearing a suit.
There is a
There is a
happy medium or a.
That's it. We're talking about your personality.
Correct.
If you're rocking up respectful and just being you, and when dealing with people which line they can cross, which line they can't, your boss, the whole thing, performing at the job, whatever. If you know this is who I really am, doesn't matter if I'm at work or at home, you've got your principles, you've got your values, and that's sweet. That's what you need to do. But we're not doing that. We're rocking up with fake values. We're rocking up with anything that suits someone else, as you mentioned, to get approval, to fit in.
I don't think that's where respect comes from.
No, it doesn't. We believe that's what it is because people talk to us in a certain way at work, with a certain tone, and it looks respectful and all that. But when something goes a bit wrong, mate, they're gonna throw you under the bus.
Correct.
And it's happened all the time. But when you're rocking up with being you, they know what you look like. And they know what you tolerate. They know everything about you. They know what game they play. And if they're, most likely they would be, all right, not themselves, they're going to play to your tune.
Correct.
That's the way it goes. The stronger frame always wins.
Correct. The problem is you might be more, for lack of a better word, high level than the person. You might be working for a boss. It's a dumb cunt.
Yeah.
But you might be not intuitively, but like emotionally at a higher level. You might know more than this boss.
More life experience. More everything.
Correct. And they just might not be down with you. This is the point. It's not 100% sales rate.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not 100% effective. The only thing we can count on is like, I can put my best foot forward, all right? And obviously that's all I can do. And whether they're going to like me or not, it's who the fuck knows?
It's up to them. It's their fucking problem.
Now, if you brown nose people and do all that shit, you can get by. But it's not the right way. It's not the authentic way. Like, it's not sustainable. I don't think it's healthy.
It's not healthy. Look, you're gonna. At the end of the day, everyone tries to avoid confrontation. Okay, in any shape or form.
Yep.
Right. So that's why we play small. That's why we play the game, someone else's game. Now, most of the times, initially, when you bring yourself to the party, to your job, whatever, you're going to bump heads a bit. It's not going to be, because at the end of the day, you're challenging them, the way they act. And I've been in a situation many times, just to make it more simple so people understand, is that basically if I'm going to a job and the boss is a dumb cunt, and I've had a lot more experience with him in life, just in general stuff, I've got a good relationship with my missus, I've got a fucking child, and I've got good mates. Yeah. Everything in my life is going great.
Travelled. This guy's never been out of the fucking state.
And because he's just, in this specific job, he's just got a better position than me right now because he didn't do fuck all.
No.
Apart from this fucking job. Oh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, he's going to have a better position.
In this specific job.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean
anything. It just means that I'm your supervisor and I'm here to tell you what we're supposed to be doing.
That's it. You're not more of a mad cunt.
That's it. So if you're cool with that, in a sense like, I don't give, it doesn't bother me. I'm just doing my job and you're happy. Cool, stay there and do the whole thing. Do what you got to do. But if you have to play small because of this guy here, he's giving you a hard time, it's either you tell him to fuck himself and you leave the job, or you sit him down and say, mate, I'm here to do a job, and you just sit him straight. You're my supervisor, and I expect you the whole thing. But when you talk to me as a human being, and you sit him straight. That's it. There's only two ways it can go.
Correct.
It's either he respects you through that, because he will respect you, or he won't. If he doesn't respect you, you know you can't stay there.
Yeah.
But can he respect you? Yes, because these kind of people know when someone else got a stronger frame. Doesn't matter what the job title. They know when they've got a stronger frame. Okay? He knows when he's been outmatched.
Correct.
Right? Now, there's only one other way, which is the third way. You just play his game. That's it.
That's right. But as you know, overcoming fear comes at a cost.
It does.
And it's like it's exactly like the quitting smoking. So the problem with feeling better about yourself and sticking up for yourself and like showing yourself that you give a fuck about yourself is that there's nothing inside us that motivates to do that.
No.
So the confrontation of like telling your boss or standing up for yourself, that cost of confrontation, first of all, you don't know what the
result's going to be.
Yeah, the reward.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'm just guessing here, eh?
Yeah, is it the juice with the squeeze? You don't know anything.
Correct. Because it's a faith-based, every time you go against fear, it's faith-based.
100%.
Because you don't know.
You don't know.
So the cost to stay where you are is avoiding fear, which is nice and cozy.
Beautiful.
The cost to change, for lack of a better word, is to attack fear, which is to do something that you
go on
have
a
a
limb,
fucking clue.
uncertainty.
Yeah, it's straight uncertainty. It's always the uncertainty is the cost.
It's always.
Quitting smoking, I don't know how life's going to be like when I have a coffee in the morning, when I go out with my friends, when I have a drink. I don't know what that's going to be like if that doesn't exist anymore. Fuck, that's so like, who am I?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the only thing that will override all that is emotion. That's it.
That's the external.
Yeah.
But when you have to get it from yourself, you've got. That's
Initially
why
it's very
change is
difficult.
so hard.
Yeah,
because you've got nothing to go off.
Yeah.
You don't know. Not initially, it's the hardest. But
Yeah,
when you
initially.
do you slay one little fucking dragon, and you have some faith somewhere, and you're like, oh, that worked there.
Yeah, you build belief.
Fuck, and then it's like, I know the
Yeah.
system works.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, look, it's easy, as you mentioned before, just to recap. It's easy to go tell your boss to go fuck yourself when you've woken up in a bad mood. You had a punch on with your missus, and you rock up to work and it gave you a bit of fucking lip.
Yeah, because you don't have the bandwidth to deal with.
You're like, mate,
bullshit.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm at my last here.
you don't have the energy or the fucking.
Yeah, that's it. You don't.
Yeah.
So
But nothing really changed. Just the way you feel about the
that's
situation.
right. Exactly.
That's the muffin part.
So that's why, you know, as you said, the whole purpose here is how do we bring ourselves to a point without relying on emotion to write our own story, be the hero in our own movie. How do we bring ourselves to that point?
I think it's all based off standards, Ref. Like the standards you set for yourself, the way you want your story to go, that's the roadmap on what moves you need to make. But if you're looking for a feeling to come to motivate you,
You're fucked.
that's not going to come. It has to
fucked.
be precision and assassin. And you have to go where you haven't gone. That's it. It's
That's
straight
right.
dark. You got to learn how to look in the dark.
Yeah,
See in the
100%.
dark, eh?
A lot of guys struggle with this when it comes to, as we mentioned before, and we'll open up a bit of a conversation with it, is respect. If you're a male, respect is fucking high. Like, on your priority list. Like, you know,
Correct.
if I want something in a social circle or even a professional, whatever it might be, you want respect more than anything else, I guess.
And how do you know that you want respect? Let's say there's someone out there who's like, yeah, I don't really go around feeling like, fuck, I need respect. I'll tell you how. Because nobody likes getting disrespected.
100%. Being treated like shit. Yeah, exactly.
So you might not know what it's like to want respect, but we know what we don't want.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, if people are treating you like shit, you know, bagging you behind your back, this and that, whatever, you haven't got respect. You want to say like the phrase, you know, a man's man, that's a guy that's got fucking respect.
Correct.
That's what he's got.
Correct. And self-respect is like the main thing, because you can't always, someone's going to be, because someone's a dumb cunt, they might disrespect you because they're a dumb cunt.
That's it. That's
Not that
you can't change that.
You're not a respect. You know what I mean? There's a fine line.
But if you have self-respect,
you know what I mean?
you've got respect from everybody else, because that stuff, that's very, very influential.
That's where it
very
starts.
fucking that fucking vibrates
Fucking
a lot.
oath. Hell yeah.
right? And you can have like,
Who does
know?
the bully target today?
yeah, exactly, people that are down on themselves.
That's right. In the prison, you don't go for the biggest cunt. You're not going to rape that cunt. The cost is too high.
Too high.
Like, I'm going to fuck this cunt. I'm going
What's going to happen to me?
I want to punch off with this cunt.
That's it.
I want the cunt who looks like a nice fucking...
Easy target.
He looks young. He's not going to put up much of a fight. And I'm
The
going to get him.
mouse. That's it.
Oh,
Not going after people.
nice sexy mouse.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. No, look, respect is a...
The junkie goes for the old lady.
100%. Guaranteed. So easy targets. Just prey on easy targets. That's it. That's what it is. But yeah, respect. So if you had self-respect for, like across the board, and I mean like, when it comes to this department, like when I'm working out, I make sure I eat properly. You know what I mean? Like, and you'll be challenged. You'll be challenged by life, especially in social settings.
Faith ain't faith with that challenge, eh?
Exactly. And that's when you know that, hey, all I've got to do here is just be the same way I want to be with every other situation.
Correct.
Now, it won't be easy,
No.
but that's when you know what if you see it through the way it's meant to be, all right, you got one up on life. You got a plus, in your life. So all you can do is get more pluses than negatives,
100%.
That's the best you can hope for.
But there ain't no plus without no negative.
No, of course.
And
I'm not saying to avoid negative, obviously. Just that a situation came to my way, and I handled it the way I'll handle every other situation, and that's putting myself first.
Correct.
That's it. That's all it takes.
That's right. That's your standard, right?
That's it.
This is what
And that's how you gain points in this game that we're playing of life. That's how you clock the game.
So you clock the game.
That's how you move. You don't go from the first level to I finish the game in one hit. You move through different levels. That's how you move through different levels, and you have different experiences on every level.
Correct.
But at least you know where you're coming from. At least you know what your foundation is like, and you're not making it up shit as you go.
That's right.
Because that's not sustainable.
Bravo, yeah. Standards.
You gotta have standards.
You got to have standards. The dark and the light, it's always punching on.
Exactly.
That's what you're fighting. It's the faith or fear, eh?
That's it. Look, a good indication we've spoken about it before is COVID.
Yep.
The vaccine. Cunts are like, this is what you got to do. No problem. Other cunts are like, I'm not down with that. And are you going to get fucking crucified for that? Yeah. A lot of people did.
Correct.
By their family, friends, not by the government, by their own people. And these guys are, so tight before COVID. And now they're like...
Fuck, so many cunts lost friends.
Not only strangers, like I fucking hate this person.
Yeah.
Which is a shitty emotion to have.
Correct.
That's it.
Straight division.
That's it. And a lot of people fucking caved. Now, I'm not saying that, it was good or bad, because a lot of people, especially in our situation, like people had loans, this
They
and
gave
that.
us a shit situation.
It's like, mate, it's either you lose your fucking job, you lose your income, and, something bad shit can happen after that. Your family's going to fucking starve, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Terrible.
The mic can go.
They put us in a bad position.
That's it. But even then, people like yourself, who had all these fucking loans, had fucking all this pressure, still said, no, fuck that. I'm not going to bend. I could lose a lot. I forgot that chef's name.
Oh, Peter.
Not sure. I forgot
Not
his
the
name.
other guy. Not the Aussie guy.
The Aussie guy who used to work for Coles. Anyway, I forgot his name. And he's like, mate, I'm not down with that. He lost contracts. He lost fucking everything.
Peter Everett.
Evans.
He's
or
on the
something.
show.
Evans or something.
Yeah. He's on the show.
He lost fucking everything. But what did that guy do? He stuck to his guns. He stuck to his fucking values. Like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. correct.
That's it.
That means more to me than this other shit.
Was it hard for that guy? Fucking very hard.
100%.
Was it hard for you? Fucking very hard.
It was like a lose-lose.
There was no fucking... The only thing that's winning is that your self-love,
That's it. That's the only thing.
which we don't value anyway,
No.
most people.
Of course not.
So it's not really a thing. It's not like losing a house,
Nah.
you know?
It's who, when you're in the bed and you're thinking about who the fuck you are, am I cool with that cunt?
That's it.
And that's it. And that makes all the difference between someone who suicides and someone who loves life,
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So the more down you are with you, the more you show the world your authentic self, the better off you're going to be. That's it. In a nutshell.
That's right. And that it's different to everyone. Standards are different. The way you see your
course.
life is different.
The only
But
thing,
you know.
yeah, the only thing that's the same for everybody is resistance. Now, it takes different shape or form,
That's it, yeah.
but resistance is coming.
100%.
And you will be tested
100%.
because there is no other way.
Yeah, you know the definition of overcoming is like you need a challenge.
Yeah, it
Imagine
can't be
just-
smooth sailing.
Just imagine everything just happened on its own.
You couldn't be grateful.
It would be in paradise.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So, yeah. The more you could be yourself, and I've had my little cousin and a lot of friends that are younger than me as well, mate, you can't beat it. If you had to stick to something that's true, it'd be that. Just be yourself. And even with like women, like dating, the dating game.
Oh.
Like back in the day, it's like, fuck, like, is she going to like me? Who do I have to be?
I hate
This and that. And then when you ask women, not you specifically, but let's say you're in
in general.
in general, at a barbecue with just women you don't want to pick up,
no, you know.
all right? And what would you, what's the one thing? Like, I just want them to be them. Be yourself. That is the one fucking characteristic that they want. The one thing. They don't ask for money, even though they want money, money is important and all that. They don't ask for looks, they don't ask for, just be yourself. I want to be with a person that's them
Yeah.
at every moment.
But that's a definition of that's a masculine thing. To be direct, I know who I am, right or wrong. It's irrelevant.
Right or wrong, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like this guy is who he is. And
It's
he's
who he is.
sticking to the guns. Right? There's something about that.
Yeah. Yeah, now there could be an ignorance side of that as well, but we're talking about, like,
Irrelevant.
when you're being yourself.
When you got to be sold on you.
That's it.
Ignorance is irrelevant.
That's it. Yeah, be your own fan, be your best friend.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're kind of talking about like the reasons you're sold.
Yes. Yeah.
The reasons is whatever the reasons.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you're really sold, I'm not talking pretend.
No. You have to be
confidence.
sold like I'm rocking up and I'm the shit.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be justified by anything.
No,
Or
no.
anyone.
No.
This is the point.
Yeah. That's it.
You
Yeah.
have to be the sign. You're signing off. Right?
You're signing off. Yeah.
That means you make the rules.
That's it.
That's why it's a fantastic game.
Yeah. 100%. Look, yeah. You don't wait for the outside world to tell you how it is. You make your own rules in your own game, in your own reality. And it's going to be a bumpy ride, but one thing is certain, that you'll have more positive emotional days than negative. That's it.
100%. Bravo.
That's it. And that's the best we can do.
Done.
Yes.
Peace.